Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Review Realm. John here. Thanks for joining us today. We have our first album review of 2026 for you. We're excited to share it. Please be sure to give the video a like and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more reviews like this in the future. We've got, like we said, a jam-packed January. This is the first one we're going to give you. And as always, joining me in these album reviews, my old friend Sam, the SLB. Sam.
Hey, John, I'm excited to get right into this. We got one that we're not too familiar with to start with, so excited right to get again right back into it.
Yeah, this is exciting. We have the first, like I said, the first review of the year. It's kind of uncharted territory for us. So this was, and this band has been around for a while too, and it's one that we're not. We've always heard of them, but we're not super familiar with them. But yeah, you clicked on this for a reason, and of course, we're talking about Kreator and their new album that they just dropped, their 16th studio album, their first album in 4 years, Crushers of the World. We have.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this. I actually, long story short, I'm more familiar with German thrash metal band Sodom. So, Creator, for if you guys don't know, that part of what you call the big four thrash metal bands out of Germany, it's Sodom, Creator, Destruction, and then the last one I was supposed to look up so I didn't look like an asshole. Um, yeah, so you know, so I was really looking forward to, especially that that German sound is a little heavier, a little more dense than the American thrash metal that we get today.
Yeah, and they've been around since 1982, so they've been around for a really long time. And I always get excited too whenever I see an album with Nuclear Blast all over it. I just love when bands are produced by them. It always tends to sound more than not really good for the most part. So let's just dive right into it here. Yeah, Crushes of the World out this past a few days ago on the 16th as we record this. So it started off with three singles, which is not uncommon these days. We had one of these, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation because I think it's a German word. Seven Serpents, Satanic Anarchy, and like I'll try my best. Tronenplas.
Yeah, I was trying. It's funny. I was trying to listen to them sing it in the song in the lyrics. I'm not sure if they actually say it, but maybe I don't know how to
I
pronounce it,
don't
so
think
they
they
probably
say it
did.
once.
But oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gives you a good taste of what the album has to offer. I think Seven Serpents was a good intro song. Very anthemic.
Mhm.
I think we're for most of these songs. Did you have a personal favorite single wise, Sam?
So, surprisingly enough, the one that stuck out to me the most was the last one, Satanic Anarchy, because the whole album, before we dive into it, the whole album's very thrashy, very chuggy, speed metal feel. This one, I was getting a melodic death metal, like Soilwork feel to it, especially with the chorus.
Yeah, I like Satanic Anarchy too. Very thrashy. Another like very anthemic chorus there. All right, so I looked up Tronen. Oh, Tronen Palast. Yeah, Palace of Tears. Apparently, it's a location in somewhere in Berlin.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what the word meant, but now we know. That was definitely one of the favorite singles. I liked the main riff of that one, and I believe that was the only song that I don't know who this person is. Hyres. I probably butchered that pronunciation too, but there was a guest vocalist on there, and I thought he was distinguished enough from the lead singer in this, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, even that single I enjoyed a lot. I think it's funny because this was one of the bands, and obviously throughout the first couple of months, we have bands that we're not familiar with too much. Where I threw on these singles, and I was like, "How have I?" Keep in mind, I don't think I've listened to a Creator album prior to this. This is my very first Creator album, start to finish. So I was very impressed with the singles.
I made sure that I at least listened to one of their other albums before this one. and I think the one that has stood out to me the most in their discography was Violent Revolution. And that came out, I believe, 2001, and that was a really solid album. I think the title track for that is easily their best song to date, and I thought it was very well done. So I wanted to make sure that I at least heard how they've sounded, and with 16 albums put it out, I wanted to make sure I had a sense of that before hearing Crushers of the World.
Yeah, I went to go and I got caught up, but that's neither here nor there. Um, However, overall, I thought the album was pretty impressive. I listened to it a few times, and I was like, I could definitely throw this into my rotation, and then revisit their past 40 something years of music they got.
Yeah, so the album as a whole was 10 songs, about 45 minutes ish. And I would say what I really like what this band, when they do it, is when they slow it down a little bit. I know they're a thrash band, and I don't know if you felt this way, Sam, about it, but I feel like a lot of the choruses and on this album were, felt a bit repetitive. Like, I think you mentioned that in our last review that, it's very, like, the title track is a big example. Just, constantly mentioning Crushers of the World. I know it's the title of the album. Did you feel that way listening to it?
Yeah, yeah, and this is one, had you not brought this up, I think I would have overlooked this to begin with, because there's a lot of bands out there, especially being a big fan of progressive music, where there's a lot of thrash, a lot of speed, a lot of power metal, a lot of melodic death metal, or a lot of death metal. There's a lot of metal out there that it all sounds repetitive after a while, where you're doing the same thing over and over again. And this felt like that at times, but I thought it wasn't repetitive enough where by the end of the album I was like, it needs to end. I still thought to the end, I'm like, yeah, it can sound repetitive, but I would go back and listen to it again because I enjoyed it.
I wrote down that the title track was a little bit repetitive, but also at the same time too, I can't take it away from the band because Violent Revolution also was. And they
Hmm.
did that 25 years ago. So I didn't like you mentioned, it didn't bring the album down. It was noticeable, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the listen through it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if I have too much more to say about it. I think it's definitely worth a listen if you've never listened to Kreator before.
Did you have a personal favorite song on the album?
It's funny. I think it's honestly Satanic Anarchy. That one, it just again it reminded me of Soilworks, Solution 45. Um, Very heavy, like you said, slow. So Seven Serpents, I think, kicks it off in a high gear, really fast, very thrashy, and then immediately with Satanic Anarchy, it's just like that, like almost like a galloping, like dunna 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 dunna, like it slowed it down, and I'm like, all right, you know. And then the chorus was, you don't need to like metal, I think, to enjoy this chorus. Very catchy, I thought, for a thrash metal band.
Like I said, I liked when the album slowed it down a little bit, like Tron and Palas, like it did a little bit, and then like Barbarian, it kind of went back and forth. Barbarian kicked it right back into being thrashy. The bridge on that was a little bit different. I think my personal favorite on the album was Combatants. I like when Creator sounds like this. It's not super fast because I know they're capable of that since being a thrash band. But I like when they slow it down, and I like when they're like headbangy, if that's a word. I think it suits them really well when they do that.
I feel like Barbarian had something like that, where it was very. I think it was. I have to go back and listen to it. It was a little slower.
Barbarian, I wrote
Sorry, go ahead.
Barbarian. I wrote down that the bridge was different
Hmm.
on that one. I mean, the chorus was a little bit repetitive
Hmm.
on that, but that's what I saw stand out there.
Yeah. No, I would absolutely agree with that.
I don't know about you if you thought this, but when I got to Psychotic Imperator, I I had a dyslexic moment and I wrote down at first I wrote down psychotic impersonator. I'm like, no, that's not what it says.
Yes, yes, because I was like looking at it and I'm like psychotic impersonator. Huh, that's an interesting name of a song. And then I think like the third time I listened, I'm like, oh, imperative. Bleh, I can't even speak.
Imperator, yeah, imperator. That's what it is. Excuse me. Imperator means I looked up means commander in chief or emperor, and I know it's a Nuclear Blast Records production. It sounded good overall. I think it was like overproduced a little bit. I think it was hard to distinguish a lot of the like the instruments and everything like that. I don't know. It felt slightly overproduced, but it still sounded fairly good.
You could have probably brought the bass up a little bit
Yeah.
because now I'm thinking about it. Like I could hear the guitars pretty good, the drums are fine. Maybe the vocals, because there were definitely times where the way I think going off what you said, now I'm thinking about it, the way the vocals were mixed, it almost sounded like it was towards the back rather than like equal, if not in front of the guitar work.
Yeah. Overall, though, I enjoyed it. I definitely want. This is a band I'd like to see live. Now, I'm sure they'll tour for this album. I think they'll be in the area around April or May or so. I definitely want to check them out. I want to hear these. I want to hear their songs live, see how they sound.
Agreed. Agreed. I would absolutely see these guys, and hopefully they bring one of their German counterparts with them as well.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much our thoughts on Crushers of the World. If you guys have anything to add on this album, please leave a comment below. Share your thoughts with us. Hit the like button. Also subscribe. Really helps support the show. Any closing thoughts?
Check it out. This is a good start to 2026, and I think it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, I think this is it's like you said, a solid start. So we got tons of more reviews coming your way. Jam packed January, and we seem to be having new announcements every day. So we'll be keeping busy. But stay tuned and do not forget to join the Bedlam.